are. You're muted. I can't hear you.
I shouldn't be muted. I'm not muted. Hey, technology. I don't keep up with it. I probably was
all good
the whole time. It doesn't even matter. I look good. How are you today, Kimberly?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Now I've been telling everyone about you. I've been posting all on social media, and I think I'm just overexcited because you are a memoir specialist. Like you're like an expert. And I want you to jump in and just tell everyone about, what you do and how long you've been writing your memoirs and how long have you been like teaching this to people?
So I started writing my memoir back in 2020 when we went into lockdown because I was in a transformation work and I had a coach and we were going for something that is a goal that was like how they put it, and that's the best way to put it, but puckering goal. So it seemed impossible and it seemed big. And honestly, writing my memoir was butt puckering.
Wow.
Because I had so many things coming up around it. Like I often hear people say, who would want to read my story? I don't have anything extraordinary. And I thought that's what it had to be. I thought it had to be extraordinary. And I didn't think my story was significant. So I challenged myself with my coach having the accountability. And I did it in 3 parts. And I thought they were going to be 3 different memoirs. But now afterwards, now I'm really working on editing and publishing it and making it 1 book.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we're turning this into a book.
Yes.
Oh,
wow. Now, because I want to get it done, I'm going to self-publish. And so I'm having support with that, but from a friend. And
so you're saying 2020.
Yes.
So how long have you been like really just diving into the information of what, all the tools that you need to actually write a memoir? Has it been just 2020? Did it just start in 2020? Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow.
I'll give you a little bit of my background because I don't know if I shared it with you. I'm on a sitting ball, so I'll have to.
Oh, yay. Oh, can I pretend like I'm
on one? I worked for the government for just shy of 22 years. And I decided when I went into coaching school, I found my purpose. And so, and then having written my memoir, I was like, I can put the 2 and 2 together. I've already written my memoir. Now I'm a coach. I can coach other people into writing their memoir. I did it. You can do it.
Wow. So with you just being 2 years into this, how many people have, you brought on as clients to help them? Because I know this is something that's crossed so many people's mind. You want to leave something behind for your children or just people to read, especially, if you feel like your life is just that interesting. I feel like mine is. I should get started immediately, but
you get to do it, Karen.
I don't know. Sometimes we'll talk about that off.
You get to do it.
Yeah. But I mean, like 2 years into this, how many people have you worked with to help them?
Well, that's the interesting part is that people will have the conversation with me. They'll say, oh, yeah, I want to do it. And then so much comes up around it. So it's constantly working with people and being it possible to make it happen. So for instance, the one client I had, she had already started writing it and she wanted to publish it before it came into some roadblocks. Now she figured, well, she'll work with me and add to it. And it was interesting with her journey because as she was adding to it, more stuff came up. So yeah, it's very interesting. And of course, like you can make up stories about stories as you're writing a story.
Right.
I do it.
Hey, that's just how it is.
Yeah. And I love that your show is on wellness.
Thank you.
Because really the first part is like people getting to take care of themselves.
Exactly.
Start this. That's really the first part. Yeah. So I really strongly resonate with how you focus on the healing and the mindset, because
Yes.
we connect in that way.
That is how we connect. And I'm glad you said that because I fought back and forth trying to figure out how I wanted to structure my podcast. And I was like, I just didn't want to be one of those podcasters that just got on and just ramped around, about celebrity news. We get enough of that trash, on regular TV. So I was like, what do I really want to do? And I said, you know what? Let's just focus on health and wellness and wealth and truth and happiness and positivity. Let's just focus on those things because that's what's really important to me right now. When I wake up in the morning, I expect to have a wonderful day. I expect to be in wonderful health. I expect so much. So I'm just finally glad I finally did this podcast, and I'm just excited for people like you that see the greatness and see the growth, and you were like, hey, let's get on here and talk about memoirs. I said, you know what? Dang it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it because it's time. I have to write my memoirs because I have a very interesting life. And I was just telling my husband, I was like, I want to leave that for someone to read, to see the ups and downs, the hurdles, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the doubts, the giving up and everything.
Yes. And it also fits into the wealth because you get to monetize it. You get to make money off of it.
Exactly.
That's one benefit. The other benefit is the healing aspect of it because it's not about writing. It's much deeper than the writing, which is why this is so meaningful to me, because me writing my memoir, and once I got through all of those things, all of those obstacles, like, story's not significant enough, why do I matter, who's going to want to read it? Once I got that one person picks up my story and feels the possibility of a change or a transformation, I did it.
That's it. That's it. Only if just one person. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Wow.
So much more deeper than just writing a story.
Yeah. Now you said something earlier, and you were saying that you had someone come to you and wanted to get started on their memoirs. What do you think is the number one thing that kind of stops people in the midst of trying to get it done? Because this is like, I've heard this before in the past. People, I'm in the middle of writing my memoirs and, I gave up. I'm just going to take a break for 6 months. Now, what do you think it is?
Oh, because you're reliving that trauma. You're reliving experiences that all of a sudden it's like so much space. You have to be, you really get to be in a space of being willing to take a look at that stuff, because if we're afraid of going to those places and seeing what's in front of you, it's something very powerful putting those words on paper, even if you're doing it on a computer, because once you put it down there, there's no turning around and ignoring it.
Wow. That is true.
Yes, a lot of times it's that fear that comes up. That honestly was one of my first obstacles, is I am afraid of what's going to come up as I'm writing it. So am I willing to really take a look at that dark stuff that's going to come up that I've been afraid of looking at, that now once I put it out there, there's no turning around and taking it back once I put it out there.
Yeah. Wow. Now, I think I may have done a little snippet of my memoir because I wrote a cookbook. And I actually have it sitting. I wrote a cookbook, girl. And this was like, I started a little bit before the pandemic. And I finished it during the pandemic. But it's called Fucker Fried Chicken.
Oh, I
love it. It is it's vegan and pescatarian recipes, because I have not let go of the seafood yet. I love my seafood. But I wrote this book and I said, you know what? I'm going to tell the story how my mother passed. And I wanted to tell the story how I nearly lost my life because of the eating habits that I chose, and so this was like, I should have went a little deeper with my story, but I said, you know what, I'll just leave that for another book, because man, trying to finish this book was hard. So I can only imagine writing your memoirs. Like, writing a cookbook almost killed me. Like, this was crazy. I was like, I have to have the right recipes and I have to tell my story right. I want people to understand where this is all coming from. And I always share this story because I named it Fuck a Fried Chicken because the last meal that my mother had was fried chicken. We actually found her deceased, laid back in her bed. And I'm not afraid to tell this story because this is my story and it's a part of my journey.
Well, and not to interrupt you, but I
Yeah.
love this is also how we connect. When I decided to really give myself permission to start writing,
Yeah.
to the most emotional, impactful time of my life, and also with my mom.
Yeah.
So I love that you're sharing about your mom.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe I'm sitting here talking to you, telling you, because there was a point where I couldn't even tell this story without like bawling, like without crying. And I'm like, I can finally, and I knew I was going to eventually get to this point where I would be able to tell this story. Yeah. And it was for so long, I couldn't get the visual out of my head because my sister was trying to perform CPR, but mentally I already knew she was gone, but we tried everything we could to just possibly bring her back. But the last meal she had was fried chicken. It was like chicken bones on the floor and everything. And I was like, you know what? How can I get through this grieving process? Because this is mom we're talking about here. How am I going to be able to grow and get, healed from this? And so I poured it into this cookbook. And I was like, you know what? Fuck a fried chicken. And
I love it.
That was it right there. That was it.
That's so perfect.
Yeah, so I love this cookbook and it's dedicated to my mom. And I just, I'm almost ready to get started with you. I mean, I want you to share some tips with us of what are some tools, what are some things that you can actually prepare yourself to start writing your story. People just, it's as easy as saying, okay, pick up a pen and get some paper and just start writing. But can you kind of walk us through a little bit?
Well, first, it really does come down to that. Literally, give yourself permission to start writing. Just do it. Like, don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. So it's, for me, like I was just saying, I went to what is a moment of my life that is the most meaningful, the most impactful, and the most emotional. Because when I said I was afraid of what would come up, I went to the most emotional point because that's what I was afraid of. I was afraid of feeling those feelings again and having those emotions again. So also the way with my mom was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And so she was doing awesome. And then once kicked butt through chemotherapy and then started radiation. And that's when it kind of all went downhill. Radiation really did a number on her.
Yeah.
Still, when I came home one day and found her collapsed on the bed, I didn't expect it whatsoever. Her abdomen had swelled up again because she had a couple of times where they had to remove some fluid from her abdomen because of the tumor. And I didn't expect it at all to find her collapsed on the bed. And then she went to the hospital, and then it was 5 days later she was gone.
How long ago was this? What year was this?
2013.
2013. Oh, wow. My mom was 2014.
Wow. So, really?
Yeah.
Wow. What's your mom's name?
The Dora. TH. Yeah, it's like the Dora, like Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. She has a very unique name. Yeah. So
love it.
Yeah, 2014 but 2013, I was on my deathbed with a rare disease called sarcoidosis.
Wow, I've heard of it. I don't know anything about it.
It is, oh gosh, I don't wish it on anyone. Girl, it's like I don't even like saying COVID because that's just. But it's like COVID times 20. It was like the most horrible. It's like an attack of the immune system. In mine, I carried sarcoidosis in my liver. So I could feel like my liver like throbbing, like just
oh my goodness,
like a heartbeat almost.
Yeah.
And so my doctor pretty much told me, if you don't change your diet, if you don't let go of some things, you might as well just count your blessings and just call it quits. Yeah. And at that point, I was like 375 pounds. Wow. And I had to make some really tough decisions. But before I, made those decisions, the illness had took over me. I wasn't able to eat. I was losing weight like crazy. I had to let go of a lot of stuff. Soda, sugars and stuff, even though I still like play around with sugar sometimes. I just play a little bit, just play around a little bit in sugar. But no, but yeah, I had to make some decisions. And yeah, my mom was right there by my side when I was pretty much on my deathbed. And I came out of that strong, but then not knowing that I would lose her like literally a year later. Yeah, so it was just crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, look, I'm already doing my memoirs right now. Where's my
exactly. And I so appreciate you sharing that and being vulnerable with that.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a big part of sharing.
I'm sitting in the therapist's office and I'm just able to just talk. Is that what you do? Do people just sit back and just talk and tell their story to you?
Seriously, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I feel that energy from you. Like you listen and you engage, and I appreciate that. Like seriously.
I appreciate you acknowledging that.
Thank you.
Because that's what I love doing what I do. I want people to feel heard. I want people to feel understood. And I want people to know that if you choose to be supported, I'm here to support. Because you can do it alone and you can get it done. And you can choose to partner with a person who knows what they're doing and holds you accountable and supports you and loves you when you have your breakdowns and loves you when you get through the breakthroughs.
Yeah, there you go. Woo. And those breakthroughs be kind of ugly sometimes.
Exactly.
I can be real mean.
The breakthroughs are uglier than the breakdowns.
Exactly. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
So going back to what you were saying, it really comes down to mindset.
That's it.
It really comes down to mindset. Because if you're believing that it's hard and you're believing that you can't do it, then that's exactly what you're going to get.
Oh, say that again. Say that again. I felt that.
Yeah. So if you believe it's hard and it's difficult and you believe you can't do it, that's exactly the result you're going to get.
And I'm not going to even sit here and lie. I have struggled with that on a day. I'm not going to say a day to day, but some days are better than others. I guess I could just say that some days are better than others. And I wake up with the mindset that everything is great. Everything is, and then that one thing may trigger me. And I'm like, okay, hang that up. Do I just go lay down and try this again, or do I let this get the best of me, or do I just kind of roll with the punches? And like you said, it is in the mind, and you decide how you're going to, handle your day. You're the outcome, pretty much. Yeah. So, I struggle with that one.
Yeah, and you're not alone. I do too. That's why coaches get to have coaches too, because I get to have that support and I get to have that accountability, and so we all go through it. We're humans, and that's what it is to be human.
It is.
Yeah. And in that moment, somebody chooses that this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my memoir done. I'm going to write my story. I'm going to be courageous. I'm going to be brave. I'm going to go through whatever comes up. I'm going to ask for support. I'm going to be held accountable. Then that's what you get. That's the result you get.
Yeah. Wow. So let me ask you this. Where are you located here? Are you in the United States? So where are you located?
Yeah, upstate New York.
New York. Okay. Wow. Oh, I know some wonderful people up there. Okay.
And where are you?
I am in Dallas, Texas. You see how I said it? Dallas, Texas. we just got cooled up. We just cooled off, like literally within this week. It's been like 80 something degrees. But before that,
same thing here. Oh my gosh, I hear you. Like something 90 something degrees and really humid,
like depressing. I'm talking about depressing heat. Okay. Yeah. And you know what? And I went to Vegas. My husband and my family, we lived in Vegas off and on last year. And literally it gets hot in Vegas. And it wasn't, it was hot in Vegas, but it wasn't it's just disrespectful here in Texas. I know that's that dry desert heat in Vegas, but I don't know. It's just a difference to me. Texas is draining, miserable. I don't get it, but yeah, I'm in Dallas. Yeah, all my life. If that's your next question, I've been here my whole life.
I've been here my whole life, so if that's your question too.
Yes. So, oh my gosh, I'm so excited sitting here talking with you. And I want to ask you a little bit more, so a few more questions. And I have my other screen over here, and I'm just like browsing through your information here. And it seems like you're active in your community. Can you kind of jump in a little bit about what do you do outside of just, helping people write their memoirs? What else do you do?
Yeah, so outside of that, I'm also a wellness coach. I'm a
Mm.
certified IIN coach, International Institute of Nutrition.
Oh, wow.
So I help people and that's why I felt connected to you too, because I help people to live healthier and include the health, wealth, and community, because that's really what health is about.
Mm-hmm.
If you go through it alone, it's tough and challenging. If you go through it with a community, you have wealth that's not only money, but so many other abundances, because you're all doing it together and you're having fun. So yeah, that's also what I do outside of helping people write their memoirs.
Okay. So almost like
I've had my own personal health challenge too.
Yes. Wow. Okay. So I guess my next question, let me ask you this question, because I've been wanting to ask someone this. What are your thoughts on emotional eating? Because that plays a part in your wellness and in health. Emotional eating, like, can you kind of touch on that a little bit, or have you ever dealt with that before?
Yeah, I was going to say, if anything, I would say it from my own personal aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So I know when I emotionally eat, I feel triggered in my emotions. And the emotional eating is a way for me to avoid feeling those emotions. The food is a way to escape it. So I'm really avoiding, and I'm going to the food to try to help me to heal. But it's really, I'm looking for a way out of it. And like, I'm trying to circumvent it. And that never works when you try to circumvent it.
Exactly. That is the truth, though.
Yeah. So that, for me, that's what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. And it's really, for me, mindfulness. And that was also something I was taught in coaching school. A part of my coaching is ontology. So it's about the way of being, and the ecology, about how we're all connected. So even when you're sitting down with your food, it's not just food. And I'm sure you relate to this, because now what your choices are for what you eat, when you're looking at that food, you're thinking about where the vegetables were planted, the farmers that took care of it, the farmers that took it from the ground to the box, the workers who took it from the box to the warehouse, and all of the journey that the food goes on to be in front of you. That's also so important, because then you're really getting how we're all connected, because we all seriously are connected.
Yeah, we are. We are all, what do we call it? We're all relatives. We're all related to each other, because we come from the same place.
Yeah.
So, and I can really truly honestly agree with you on the food, because I have my little garden on my patio, and I'm like right here. I live right next to a lake, so they get get a good little breeze and water and everything. But I have okra, basil, rosemary. I had a lot more than that before, but that's a whole other conversation. But when I bring it into the house and cook it with my food, I'm like, oh my gosh, I get so excited, because I'm like, I nourish these plants. Like, I poured my love and everything into these plants, and here I am about to eat it, and I'm like, this is so wonderful.
Like an aphrodisiac, because you created it, you like grew it.
I did everything. I watered it, guys. Gosh, so I get it, and you do think about that. What you're eating, when you are eating, what you're putting in your mouth, you do start to think about it. And I think that was why it was so easy for me to let go of meat, because I'm like, oh gosh, this is a dead cow. Oh gosh, this is a pig. You know, this is the pig intestines. I don't even play with pork. Now, did I used to? That's another conversation.
When you say that.
But you start to think about those things and you're like, nah, I can pass on that, you know, and it's a mind thing. Like, I don't have to have it. I'm not missing it. Yeah, I know what it tastes like. Yeah. But I'm okay. I'm good. I'm going to go ahead and eat the salad with avocado and onions and I'm going to be happy.
Yeah. You know what I discovered recently? I did a cleanse and the sweet potato with avocado on it.
Oh, now that sounds okay. Now I was thinking about that
Really
one time.
good.
Oh, okay. And I have some in there. No, it's late. I can't even do it tonight. Dang it. Why did she tell? Okay, I'm gonna eat it tomorrow because that sounds really good.
Really
now, do you cook?
Here and there. I'm not big. That's also something I ventured into because part of like having this information that I got from writing my story enlightened me to stories that I have about experiences from my past. So to give you an example about cooking, both of my parents were alcoholics. And so it was very chaotic in the house. I experienced domestic violence because when they were both drunk, they would have literal fights with each other. And so I remember more times of my mother being in the kitchen, perceiving her as angry and like stuff being tossed and like banged and high heat. Like I don't remember things simmering. So the word simmer was not even anywhere in my sphere.
Wow.
So I didn't want to cook literally until we went into lockdown. I wasn't willing to even go there because in my experience, I'm like, I don't want to go to that place and experience what I experienced as when I was growing up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Well,
I'm thinking about me, like that makes a whole lot of sense because sometimes when I'm a little upset at maybe a certain situation, my son comes into the kitchen and he's like, "Mommy, what's wrong?" And I don't want him to see me upset while I'm cooking food, and he's not gonna think that food is supposed to be happy.
Exactly. We want our food knowing that we made it with love. We don't want food if we think that.
And people, you can tell when something's made with love and when it's not.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
Yes. So it really took me to be that courageous and like, I'm going to try it. I'm going to see what the experience is like. I'm going to start with recipes that are in front of me. And if I get to go through 1, 2, 3, 4 step, and that's right in front of me, like literally, that's what I'm going to do.
Wow.
So that's how I started it. And now I'm good. Cause like when I do a cleanse week, we do fruits and vegetables. So I get to do a lot of different recipes because I get to be like very adventurous with foods. I don't want just salads. Who wants to eat just salads day in, day out? Like I can eat the same food.
So good though. It's so good sometimes, but I get what you're saying.
So it really has taken me a huge shift to be willing to get in the kitchen, and I'll throw some extra virgin olive oil in, and I'll throw some salt, a little bit of salt. I don't do a whole lot of salt, a little bit of salt and pepper, and I'll put vegetables in, and I'll put onions in, and it's like, my significant other is like, why did you start doing this like 3 years ago? Like,
oh my goodness. Because I started cooking, I want to say, not until I got to my second husband. I was not a cooker. I just didn't, that was not me. But for whatever reason, when my husband and I started dating, he would ask me to bring him lunch to his job. And I'm like, okay, if I want to keep him around, let me get on it. So I started going in there cooking, and he started enjoying my cooking. But what I noticed that we were both overweight, and I started cooking healthier things. And he's like, oh my gosh, if you was to see an old picture of him and now, he is teeny tiny. Like he is not, he was 330, I think was his highest. And now he's like maybe 210.
Wow. Congratulations to both of you then.
Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, I had to, change up and do some cooking. And then I started enjoying it. And then before you know it, I started going in there just freestyling, making all kind of different dishes. Wouldn't even follow a recipe, half the time. And then, I started my She Chef, and I don't talk about it that much on my personal page, but I have like a whole She Chef and social media page where I show all my food I cook. Oh yeah, girl. I'm just
you gotta send that to me. I want to follow.
I will. I am all over the place. All over the place. But yeah, I started doing preserves first. I was watching a Martha Stewart documentary show or something, and she started off making preserves, blueberry preserves. I was like, well, Martha can do it. I can do it. So I went in and made preserves and shipped them down to California, and it got in the hands of Tabitha Brown, and she's done so many reviews on my food and my cooking.
Get out of here. I just started following her on Instagram. Oh, you're frozen. Or am I frozen? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Karen, can you hear me?
Okay, so I'm going to wait for Kimberly to get back on. I'm so sorry. We had a disconnection in the stream, and so we are now back on. Hopefully, oh, there she is. She's there. Kimberly's back. There she is. Now, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. Oh my gosh, when I tell you I hate technology, I hate it. I just simply hate it. It's
I'm like, uh-oh, I can't hear you. You're frozen. And then poof, you went away.
Gone. And then I was like, well, Kimberly, I guess she'll find us when she gets back on.
I stayed. I went off camera because I'm like, okay, I know y'all are looking.
I'll take over the show. That is funny. I wouldn't have mind if you wrapped up the show for me. That would have been okay with me. I'm not technical like that. Well, Kimberly, I want people to be able to find you, because I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because I don't want this to happen again. I don't know what's going on with my internet service here, but can you tell people where they can follow you and your email, website, and all that information? Can you just go ahead and share that?
I don't want to forget. I have a free gift for your listeners.
Oh my gosh, do y'all hear that? Okay, for everyone that's going to come back and watch this later, because I know we don't have a lot of people that jump on live when we're doing this live. So if you are watching this Go ahead, Kimberly. I just took over your whole little speech. If you're watching this, she has a surprise, and make sure that you reach out to us and claim that prize. But go ahead and share it. Okay.
So my free gift is my ebook, and it is 5 ways to recover from your personal trauma.
Oh.
So my website, the best thing to do is to go to my website, which has to include the HTTPS semicolon //. I think I don't know why it has to be that way, but it has to be that way. Because if you don't put that, you're going to get some other Kimberly Henry, because there's tons of other Kimberly Henrys in this world.
Oh, no. How dare they? How dare they? You are the original Kimberly Henry, okay?
Thank you. So once you put in all of that, then it's KimberlyHenryCoaching.com.
Okay. And you can just drop the link to me as well, and I'll make sure that I come back and put it in the video so they would have that. And
then they can just send me an email with the ebook as subject, and I can shoot it off to people.
Oh,
and they can also go to the website and book a discovery call with me to see if it's a good connection, if it's something that's possible, even to have a call with me that if it's more like listening, seeing what's coming up, helping with obstacles, I'm more than willing to offer my time and my services to help people in that way.
So y'all hear that? A coaching call and a ebook. That's like, I mean, that is God sent right there, because that's everything you need to just even get started.
Yes.
So wow.
You get started?
Yeah, I know. I'm getting started. Like, I have to get my story out there, honey, because it is quite interesting. Okay. Yeah. I surprised myself.
I already know, because I didn't know you had a whole cookbook thing going.
A whole cookbook. A whole cookbook. Yes. Yeah,
and did you hear me when you were saying about Tabitha? I only just
started. You cut out.
I only just started following her on Instagram. I didn't even know about her. And
really,
I'm not even sure how she came across on my Instagram. It was through someone else that I follow.
Yeah. I met her through the pandemic. Like I said, I sent her a jar of my preserves, and her and her daughter did a video. Her and her husband did a video, and I think she did one with her son. And every time I will wake up in the morning, because she was on the West Coast, but every time I woke up in the morning, I would have like all these instant messages from people. And they were like, Tabitha just was talking about you and your preserves. I'm like, huh? What? And I was like, I didn't know she was going to do that. I told her not to do that. I was like, I just wanted her to try it and give her her personal opinion. She done made like 3 videos. Wow. On my preserves. I'm like, oh my gosh. So
that is awesome. It's
so amazing. Like, she literally, like, for real, put a lot of people on. She really did. And I told her, you don't even understand what you've done for my family, because we were shipping preserves all over the United States. Like, after she did those videos, I was just shipping them to Washington and everywhere.
Wow, that is so awesome.
Man, so yeah, she's like family. She's family. She knows who I am whenever I reach out to her, and I just wish her the best. She's on a great road right now. So
yeah. I love her Instagram. She posts funny stuff, and then she posts all real stuff, and it's
so positive.
Very interesting.
Positive. You should catch her interview she had with B. Simone. I think it's on YouTube. She sat down with B. Simone, and she talks about her whole life before, we knew her as Tabitha Brown on social media. And her story is really, really great. I love all the stories that when they tell the story, it's hard for me to sit down and read a book.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's so difficult for me. I'm trying to get over that, but just to listen in,
Yeah. Well, thank you. I'll look that up on YouTube.
Yes, look that up. Yes. So you guys, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in today. And y'all know it's Thursday, okay? I'm trying to do something different. I'm going to do my shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays because there's so many people that I want to bring onto this platform and talk to and have them share what they're doing, because it's room for everyone. It's just room for everyone to just talk and love each other and support each other and keep lifting each other up as we get through this thing called life.
Yeah.
So, Kimberly, I appreciate you so much for reaching out to me and just wanting to be a part of this. You don't even understand how much that means to me. Do not lose contact with me.
No, I so want to stay connected with you. And thank you for having me on. I really enjoyed this. And you're awesome.
Thank you so much.
That's how we connect. We're like-minded.
Yes. Oh, I'm going to enjoy this. This is going to be fun. So, well, thank you guys for joining me for this Thursday's podcast with WTF Wellness Journey. And I will get with you guys on Tuesday. I'll have a whole new guest. And you never know, Kim may come back another day and we can talk more about what she's doing and how she can help you guys get started on getting your memoirs, because we've all been through something. Come on, let's just be honest. We've all gone through the same pandemic, and everyone has come out with a story. Everyone has a story to share. We've lost loved ones. We've gone through some things, breakups. We've had to go through a whole life change. Like, seriously, like, I don't even know where to begin because so many things were going on throughout the world. So I just want you guys to keep that in mind. All right. I can sit here and talk all night. So I'm going to say good night. I'm going to end this. Kimberly, you stay right there because I'm just going to go ahead and end this podcast and we can talk and wrap it up with each other. All right, y'all. Peace.